Hi, welcome back to CUTV. We're here in studio. We're just going to do a quick recap of the day. So we were following the tuition fee hike protest, and I'm here right now with Tim McSorley. So Tim McSorley is with the Montreal Media Co-op, and he was actually at the protest today. So he's going to tell me a little bit about what happened since I was trapped in the studio all day. So Tim, what was your experience like?
It was pretty incredible. I was a student at Concordia back during the 2005 student strike, since it was out for the marches back then too, and this dwarfed it both in energy and size. It was, and even then that was the largest student demonstration that had happened in Quebec up until that point, and so just to be in the streets with 300,000 people today and feeling that energy. Definitely, it was a march. It was, it was to show the strength of the student movement, and to see people from across the province. There were buses of students from Lanaudière and Assomption, from Sherbrooke, from Bishop's University, from across the province coming into Montreal today to show the fact that they're upset with the tuition fee hikes. But I think something that's really important that we can't overlook is also the non-students who are in the streets today. There were unions, there were teachers' associations, there were parents with strollers. There was a wide swath of Quebec society who came out into the streets today. And often in other protests, people lining the sides of the street are kind of unreactive. They watch, they see what happens. But this time there was a lot of people joining the march. There were a lot of people expressing their support. I managed to talk to a group of older people who are grandparents against the tuition fee increase, who are out there because they don't think their grandchildren should have to be paying more than what their children did to go to university, and they see over the generations the importance of university education. So just the spirit of community that was there today, I think I think the Charest government needs to be very worried if they expect that they can just ignore this and think that's something that's just going to go away. So
yesterday there was an article released on Actualité where Line Beauchamp was quoted as saying that the policies of the government are upholding the wishes of the silent majority. So after what you experienced today in the streets, what would you have to say in response to that?
Well, I don't know where the silent majority is. We can always claim that there's a silent majority. When you have 300,000 students on strike and 300,000 students out in the street, and when you have, I think one thing that we haven't seen is a groundswell of voices opposed. Normally when there's something that the population in general is opposed to or backs the government on, at least there's a feeling of a momentum and a sentiment. But I've been following this story, I've been talking to people, I've been covering it for the Montreal Media Co-op, and definitely I haven't gotten a sense that there's this broad swath of public opinion that is somewhere out there, that is this silent majority that thinks that students should just go back to class and that they shouldn't be protesting. But rather, it seems that there's more and more momentum, especially among students, because I think the students who are against tuition fee increases are in some cases the people who are the hardest to convince because they're the ones who want to stay in class. They have the interest, but they also are the ones who know what's going on, and even they are coming over to the student strike now. There's schools that are re-voting in order to join the student strike. There were students who were out there today whose schools had originally voted against and had joined. So I think this idea that there's some kind of silent majority that backs the Quebec government is just a way of them buying time and trying to convince themselves that they have this support, which it doesn't seem like they do.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the feeling on the street? Like we've talked in the past, sometimes that people are criticizing this movement because they're like, oh, these kids are just a bunch of stoners and whatever, but that there's too much of a party atmosphere. But how did you feel about what was happening today in the streets?
Well, definitely people were having fun in the streets today. Like there was a spirit of excitement, and there was music, and there were gumboot dancers and drummers, and so there is that energy behind it. But it's not just a random happiness of we're skipping class and it's spring and people just ignoring what's going on. Talking to people. Students know why they're out, and students are upset, and the people who are out there with them understand the issues. And to say that's just a party